Hi, and welcome to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. I'm your host, Eric Knowles. Before we get started, a word from one of our supporters.
At Convey, we're not only dedicated to solving today's biggest challenges facing healthcare organizations, we're also committed to predicting and planning for tomorrow's challenges by uniting a family of companies. We combine powerful technology with robust data analytics to deliver integrated end-to-end solutions that achieve meaningful results. Start your journey towards transformative business performance with Convey.
Welcome back to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. Yeah, you already know, I'm excited. I'm excited because of the work that we do each and every day, helping businesses grow. And I tell you, having this person on today is really exciting. She is the chairwoman of the Education Committee of the Miami-Dade Chamber. And I have her name, I'm reading because I don't want to mess it up. You know, Dr. Egheosa Igbinoba. Okay, Dr. E.
Yes.
And Dr. E is the Program Implementation Strategist, Education Management Expert, specializing in learning and workforce development. CTE, DEIA, and STEAM, STAM. That's a lot of letters.
Yes, a lot of letters.
How you doing, Dr. E?
I'm well, thank you.
Looking great, as always.
Thank you.
You always bring it.
Thank you, thank you. You too.
Well, thank you. We are here today, you know, school is back in, and you all about education. I know we've been on before. Remind folks of who Dr. E is.
Yeah, so Dr. E is an education management consultant. I have a firm that is called Evolution Training and Management Solutions, and I provide services to organizations that either have an existing education program or they want to launch an education program, and they just need some help in moving in the right direction and having strategy to either improve what they have or get it off the ground. So
if someone wants to improve their program, how do you go about, let me back up a little bit. I'm going to go back into the chamber. You've been just so engaged in the chamber, and we're going to go back to what you do. But you've been involved, as I said, you are the chair of the Education Committee, been engaged with the chamber. I would almost say 100% of anything that we're doing, you're there. I know you may have missed one or two things, but that's because you're busy doing what you do. But why do you find yourself so engaged with the chamber? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, well, first of all, I think it's my passion and purpose for economic empowerment. So the chamber is right up my alley with that. But then also as a consultant and a service provider, I've heard over and over again, and I adopted as part of my mantra also that people do business with those who they know, like, and trust. And so I have to be on the scene for people to know me. Right. And then I have to get to know people so that we can figure out if we like each other. And then they need to trust me that I'll be able to deliver the services that they need and that I can get them to reach their goals, and I do my part to completion. So I'm on the scene with my face in the place, making sure that that's part of my business building.
Exactly, and as I say, you're there. And the thing about it, as I said, you are the chair of the Education Committee, but you're engaged with the Health Committee, you're engaged, you're there. And one thing that you just said that I think is important, you know, you hear the saying, it's, you know, what you know or who you know. But as you said, you want people to know you.
Yes.
And, you know, a lot of times people don't realize that, you know, you can know someone, but if they don't know you, are they going to want to do business with you? Talk about that a little bit.
Yes. So again, people do business with who they know, like, and trust. And so they have to get to know me, know my knowledge base, because again, as a service provider, especially someone that's using knowledge capital is what I'm selling. They have to know that I know what I'm talking about, that I can create the documents that you need, that I know how to create a strategy for you. How are you going to know that if we've never had a conversation? We've never talked to each other. We've never broken bread together. How will you know if you like me or not, or if I like you, or if it's a good fit as a consultant? So again, it just goes along with, especially service providers. Difference a little bit with products is that, there are brands that you need to have trust for certain products and things, but really with certain products, it is what it is. If I need a hair comb, I really probably don't care, who made it is going to do its
As long as
its
it does
function.
what it's supposed to.
Exactly. If I'm hungry and I want a burger, I have some choices. I can go to McDonald's, I can get a gourmet burger, but in the end, if I'm just really hungry, I'm just going to go for what's available. But when it comes to service and really trusting someone to provide a service, especially as a consultant, you have to trust that that person really has the knowledge that you need to help you reach your goals.
And it's very important, your point that you're making, because there are a lot of consultants out here. And it's really getting to know that that person is an expert. How do you get to know that that person is an expert? Obviously, there's word of mouth of work you've done for other folks. But again, and I got to drive this because, as I said, there are a lot of folks who say they're a consultant, they do what they do. But how do I know that you're good at what you do?
So I have product samples if needed. Again, like you already mentioned, past performance. It was hard in the beginning when you first start off as a consultant, you just have your work performance. But being a consultant is a little different than actually performing on a job where someone else is always telling you what to do. And so I have past performance. And then I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job because I've found that my name has been said in rooms where I was not present. And when it comes back around to me, it's been positive. So I said, okay, I must be doing a good job. So when your name is being passed around in rooms where you aren't present, and the word is good on the street about you, then that's when people begin to trust that this person must really be good at what they do, not just what they say, what others say.
Right, exactly. There were a lot of letters behind that name. Talk about your background. How did you get to this before we take a break?
Okay, well, I have a wonderfully interesting story. So I'm a product of Miami-Dade Public Schools. I actually attended here at the North Campus of Miami-Dade in the School for Advanced Studies program, also a Miami Northwestern graduate. Okay. Ooh, go Bulls. And so I left here, I went to Howard University, and I got a full scholarship to study biology.
Okay.
I switched my major to music because that was and always will be my passion. Okay. And my dad was very angry. He's Nigerian dad, the product, the prolific, and he's a perfect example of Nigerian dad. He was upset, but then my parents got over it. They said, it's your life, you have to do what you want to do. And so I studied jazz at Howard.
Oh, wow.
I'm a jazz vocalist, and I still sing here
Wait a
and
minute,
there.
hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All this time, we have not had that play. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. But go ahead.
Yeah, so that led me into...
I can kind of hear that in that tone.
Alto.
Go ahead.
I'm an alto. That led me into teaching music in DC public schools after a short time in the nonprofit sector. And so there came a time when, budgets shuffle in public school systems, and I found myself needing to find a position at a new school because they were cutting out the music position at the school that I was teaching at. And so because I was a business minor at Howard, I found myself teaching business administration. And so that led me to understanding CTE, career and technical education, teaching Microsoft Office specialist certification, entrepreneurship and small business, business communications. And at the same time, I was working on finishing my doctorate in education leadership.
Okay, we're going to have to put a pin in.
Okay.
We're going to be right back. I love this conversation. We'll be right back.
Miami-Dade College has career paths in anything you want to be. What's your story? Be global. Be cutting edge. Be inventive. Be investigative. Be a hero. What do you want to be? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
We're back, and welcome back to the Miami-Dade Chamber Member Connection. I am your host, Eric Knowles, and we got Dr. E with us, and she just dropped some stuff on us that I had no idea. So I'm going to have her pull out some of that Ella. I know she got some of that Ella Fitzgerald in her. But you transitioned, got all these certifications, and now you are a specialist in your field, supporting businesses and supporting those who are in education. So let's talk about that. So again, finish up that little piece that you were before we took the break.
Yeah, so I was working on my doctorate in education leadership. I started off at Howard, but I ended and finished at Nova Southeastern here in Fort Lauderdale. And so once I was finished, I said, okay, I think my time within the four walls of a classroom in education is over. I want something different. I want to see what I can do on a grander and more macro scale in education. And I was able to have the opportunity to be a consultant at the U.S. Department of Labor, actually in the building, but working as a contractor for a company that was doing contract work there. And so that was in 2015. In 2018, I started my own consulting firm. And first it was in Maryland. I moved to Miami in 2019. I had my last son. Oh, Lord. Became a new mom for my 40s. And I ended up, and I've continued to build my consulting business here. So continuing to do work for the U.S. Department of Labor with career and technical education, the National Office of Job Corps, but also doing work now in the Miami area, leaning more into the tech and construction arenas of career and technical education.
Okay.
Yes.
Connect the dots for me.
Yeah.
So I can understand how what you're doing. You talk about tech, and obviously everything is about tech now, and AI, and I'm sure you're all into that, and construction. And a lot of stuff that we see is construction. I was going down to Coconut Grove the other day, and I counted 28 cranes in the sky.
Wow.
And that was just a smidgen of downtown. So anyway, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so in tech, so by me teaching Microsoft Office specialist certifications, also entrepreneurship and small business, that got me, that was my entree, I guess.
You a techie too?
Yeah. That was my entree into the tech world. And I began to see how important it was for young people especially, and then even older folks to be able to skill up from where they are, and for young people to be able to enter their career with tech skills, and how important certifications are. That's also been a very important part of the work that I've done with the Department of Labor related to workforce development and in the Employment and Training Administration. So all these things help to shape, because I'll tell you, I wasn't clear on what my direction was. It took a while, and actually the chamber helped me with that, because I took advantage of the free business coaching. Absolutely. And Matthew Pygott was my coach, and I guess still is. I just need to, I've been so busy, I haven't been back to another session yet. But those sessions helped me to shape what I deliver, shape my package, and to be able to have a clear message of what I provide. I was led into tech, and then I've always had an interest in construction. And as you know, the National Office of Job Corps, again, where I was doing a lot of consulting work, is historically based on construction training. Now they offer training in 10 industries, but it's historically construction, and that's where I learned about the construction industry. I got involved with the National Association of Black Women in Construction, founded by Miss Ann McNeil here, and I began to see, okay, this is I think these are the two areas that I want to focus, because you can be, jack of all trades and a master at none. So I said, I do need to find my niche here. And so I found that in tech and construction, two industries that actually cover everything. Like you said, 28 cranes in the sky, there's construction always happening. These are industries that every other industry depends on. You can't run a hamburger shop again if someone isn't helping you to do the plumbing, the gas, the electric. Have a building. You can't even make combs if there's no factory. So construction covers every industry, and so does technology. And so I said, I want to be a part of workforce development in those areas, and making sure especially that women and minorities are not left behind as these industries are booming and continuing and continue to be a driving force in society. We need to be at the table.
Right. And you mentioned NABWIC, and obviously Ann McNeil, and the first black woman to have a construction GC license in the state of Florida. One of our board members, a member of the chamber. So shout outs to you, Ann.
Yes.
We love you.
Yes.
And so how has that impacted you, being engaged? And I know being engaged with Ann is definitely an impact.
Yes, definitely. So I joined the organization. I serve on the education committee for the organization at the national level, as well as here locally for the South Florida chapter. We're looking at doing an estimating and bidding course right now, and just continuing to strategize around ways to build up the capacity of the members to do what they do in construction. And then I also am going to be working on a GC license soon as well. So,
oh man, this is awesome. And another organization that you're involved with, that we're involved with as a chamber, is Black Professional Network. Talk about your involvement there a little bit.
Yes, so Black Professionals Network, I can't sing the praises enough of Black Professionals Network, founded by Kanasha Paul. It was founded here in South Florida, and now is going national with chapters in LA and Chicago, and more coming soon. I joined soon after things started opening back up post-COVID, because by me being away for so many years in the DC area, Miami was new to me again. I visited several times a year when I was away, because my family has always been here. But I was a little lost when it came to the business landscape and the networking landscape, because when I would visit, I would be at my mom's house, my grandma's house, the beach, a party, and not really doing any business here.
Right.
And so Black Professionals Network, I think I went to a mixer, and I was so elated to see this is where all the Black professionals are. Because I was like, where are the Black professionals in Miami? We're here, but I believe that probably before Black Professionals Network and some other organizations, there was no nexus. People were sort of just operating in their own, I like to call it, from a term I've heard before, pockets of excellence.
Okay.
So everybody's here doing great things, but then they aren't coming together to talk about it. And I feel like that's what, that's sort of the platform that Black Professionals Network is able to provide. So I got involved. And like I do, if I'm going to join, I'm not going to just sit back. So when I join an organization, I'm going to get involved and contribute in the best way that I can. So I'm now the vice president of the Miami chapter.
Okay.
And we love what we do. We have mixers every month, and then we have members only events also. But it's all about networking and finding that next connection to get you to the next level of your goals and the next level of your career.
Okay. Well, in our last minute or so, what would you like to leave with our guests?
Let's see. What would I like to leave? I would like to just leave a word of encouragement for business owners, entrepreneurs, especially like me, who may have a micro business, because that's what I am right now. Micro business looking to grow and scale. I'll say, keep on with the force. Don't stop till you get enough. That's what I'll say.
Okay. So if they want to get in touch with you, how can they?
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn, Dr. Egheosa Igbinoba, and I'm also on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on all platforms. So you can find me by searching for Evolution Training and Management Solutions, evolutiontms.com. I'm all over the internet, and I'm all over town. So you will, if you don't see me online, you'll see me in person.
And where's the next place that we can hear that beautiful voice?
Oh, singing. Okay. Well, online for now.
Well, we're going to work on that. So, I just want to thank you so much. This has been great. We could probably sit here for the rest of the day and talk about all these great things you're doing. If you want to know more about the Miami-Dade Chamber, go to m-dcc.org or call the Chamber at 305-751-8648. This has been the Miami-Dade Chamber Member Connection.